New card. What do you think?
Get over here! Hadouken!
That man is playing Galaga.
I understood that reference.
You shall not pass!
So say we all.
So say we all. Ride with me.
It's adamantium-tasting time, boys!
Well, make it so, number one.
All wings report in.
And welcome to your weekly interval. This is the Best Damn Nerd Show. I am your host, microphone alchemist James Kincaid. With me tonight, Hall of Fame cyber athlete Jonathan Craig.
Hello, gentlemen.
A member of Norse Purgatory as well, Jonathan Craig, but we'll get to that in a moment. And Professor Chris Davis.
Hi, James.
Davis, who is turning back the clock, has been imbibing in the alcohol this evening.
When the lady's away, Toph shall play.
Well, nobody calls you Toph.
Toph drinks in his bath. He lays in his bathtub drinking
beer.
Yeah,
can you sit up, dude? Because I feel like the breathing into your mic's going to be even more atrocious if you're doing that. It's already bad enough.
This podcast is live from Davis's bathroom. He just ends his night in the bathtub because that way when he starts puking in like 2 or 3 hours, it's already caught. You know what I mean? All he has to do is turn the shower on.
I do love the tub. I am a fan of the tub, where it be a hot tub, a bathtub. I do like just relax in that water.
Tub girl. God. Anyway, I digress. I do miss the video capture of the podcast in this respect. That a few episodes that Davis were on, he was literally just leaning his face into the chair that he was sitting on. He was sitting on it backwards, and you're just hanging your head into the fucking chair cushion trying to podcast. It's like breathing heavily into your microphone. What are we drinking tonight, Davis?
We have the favorite these days, which is tequila, lime, and soda.
Nice. Okay.
Classic.
That is a classic.
Nice.
Good for you.
It's easy. It's easy on the heartburn, and gets the job done.
Good. Well, I'm glad you got a weekend to yourself. You can play around, catch up on video games.
Yeah, a lot of gaming in store this weekend for sure.
And you just order like a pizza on Saturday morning for lunch, and then you just eat the same pizza all weekend, so you don't have to even think about food the rest of the weekend.
Well, the great thing is when this type of situation happens and the lady leaves, is my parents live right down the hill. Like, this is like a family road that I live on, and people just feed me.
It's like a shed off their driveway.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, right? It's not too far away from that.
Where you grew up, do they have indoor bathrooms, or do you guys have to go out to outhouses?
It's just burnt, like hollowed out redwood tree stumps. And you just like pee in a corner, and then that's one stump, and then the next stump is for the other, and it's a deeper hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then the tree next to it where you burn out is for the goats, and you just kind of pin them in on one side, and the tree does the rest. So you have like your own cage.
Oh no!
Good God. Okay. So what have you been gaming on, Davis?
I have been playing a lot of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, recent PlayStation Plus freebie, and I have been absolutely adoring it. The lore is fantastic. It's big on the mythology in Peru and Mayan, which I love.
When did that one come out?
It was a few months ago.
Oh, so this is like a brand new game.
No. I'm sorry. The game itself came out a few years ago. It was free on PS Plus. I think January, maybe February.
Okay, yeah, this one came out in 2018.
Yeah,
got it.
I think it's the second one in this Tomb Raider trilogy, to my knowledge. And I have to say, as somebody who just recently finished the Uncharted series, it's a better series. Like, hands down. It's not even close.
Wow.
Jeff,
you know this is going to rile up our very own Imperial Commissar Jeff Budd, who is an Uncharted loyalist, and from what little I've seen, I would like to play those games more heavily. Those are great games. But you're saying not even close.
I expected a lot from the Uncharted series, and I do like the story. I will say I like the story a lot in Uncharted, but I expected it to be more than just like action shoot 'em up. I expected more puzzles. There's a couple, but there's not many. More exploring, and there's just a lot of shoot 'em up. But Tomb Raider, this new series has been giving it to me exactly where I want it. So gotta give it a shot. It's a lot of fun.
How, I can't believe you think it's better than Uncharted. I just know that is good. That is not going to fly. So expect Jeff to challenge you to an Agni Kai.
Jeff may have some words.
Yeah, you know, I'm so thrilled actually that you feel this way, Davis, too, because Jeff, when he's not on the podcast with you of late, is usually talking about how much he agrees with Davis when he's just listening to you. But now he's getting the whole hog here of just going to be pissed listening to this episode. And I cannot wait for the retribution that will await you.
Yeah, he can cosplay as Drake, and I'll cosplay as Laura. That's great.
How is Lara Croft looking these days in the game?
Quite foxy. Foxy would be the word. She's young. She's actually realistic. There isn't a whole lot of disproportion going on, like in the original games.
I missed the original look. I'm not gonna lie.
I missed that density of content from top to bottom. You know what I mean?
It used to be a brick house, man.
Yeah, at top, and then not so much in the middle, and then on the bottom, you couldn't even call it hourglass. It was too thin in the middle. Like it was thinner than that.
I don't think that. It was totally realistic.
Yeah.
It was...
but no, she's got a young look to her, and there's a lot that she's still learning. So it's young, and so it's kind of you're on the journey with her. So it's
yeah.
Cool.
Well, I mean, I'm glad the Tomb Raider franchise is still doing well. It was definitely, as somebody that was in on PlayStation when the first one came out, Tomb Raider and Lara Croft was a big part of what I was into in gaming. So I'm glad you're enjoying it, but better than Uncharted, Davis.
Big issue with Uncharted is you'll go into these areas that you have just discovered. You've moved, you found a doorway that you thought was hidden. You'd move a rock to the side or something like that. You go deep in like this cavern, this tomb, this cave, whatever it is, and then there's bad guys in there. Like, how did they get in there? This has never been found in 1,000 years.
It just didn't make sense to you.
They just found their way through the roof somehow. Oh, we just found this at the same time. Hello. It totally throws you off the whole story of the game, and it ruined it for me.
Interesting.
Okay.
Huh. I mean,
I really like the characters
sense.
in Uncharted.
The characters are great. Like I said, the story's good. I like where the story goes, and it's a good.
Just mechanically, there's certain things about it you don't like.
Yeah, and I thought there was going to be more puzzle aspects to it, more thought, instead of just I usually play shoot 'em up games, so I wanted something different, and it wasn't. It was just third person.
Okay.
It was just a third person shooter.
So, Tomb Raider scratching that itch for you.
It is. Oh, she's scratching the itch.
All right, easy. Take it easy.
Yeah, she's of age.
Okay. All right. Let's moving right along. John, I know what you've been up to because John's been streaming a little bit in the Discord. You've been John broke his hymen, everybody. Yeah, bestdamnnerdshow.com/Discord.
I've been hyming it up, dude.
Yeah, John broke his hymen playing Valheim. Tell everyone about this game and your adventures.
I had to take a break from hymen for this podcast.
Yeah, literally before we started, John said, I got to get back to hymen, so let's make this a quick one. That's what he said.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot to do in the game. I mean, I showed you the plot of land that I cleared off. Like I'm so before I kind of talk about like where I am in the game, I'll explain the game because Davis, when he logged on and saw me streaming it before the podcast, he just immediately went into like making fun of me. And I don't blame you, Davis, because the graphics in the game are a little off-putting at first. Like I would describe it as like PlayStation 2 graphics almost. Like it's a little bit more high fidelity in terms of like more polygons, but like the textures are like pixelated on everything, which is like a distinct art style that they're going for. Once you get to a certain point, there's so much detail in the environments that you just don't like. you just don't worry about it. Like you don't overthink the graphics.
It's a beautiful game.
It really is. So it's clear that it's a conscious decision to make it look like this, to make it look a little pixelated. And because of the pixelation, they're able to add a lot of little detail, and the the way that you can like build your base up and everything is just ridiculous as a result too. But essentially, it's a survival game set in Viking purgatory. So your character has perished. You don't get any backstory at all. You start the game off, and a giant like Raven Lord flies you over this island and drops you off in the middle of the island, and that's it. Like you know nothing about the game. And then a little raven shows up occasionally and tells you about certain parts of the world, but it's very basic what it tells you. Like the game truly forces you to like explore and build your skills and learn your build menu and like build a base. And the first thing you have to do is build like a little shelter, like farm wood and build a little shelter to like survive through the first night. You have to build a fire and you have to build a little tiny shelter. I ended up discovering an abandoned shelter and just building onto it, but it was horrible.
Was it like a pea wood, like a hollowed out redwood, like I found?
Yeah, exactly.
It's essentially like Davis's upbringing.
Yeah.
But John, when I first hopped on there, your house that you showed me that you were so proud of was a complete fucking piece of shit. And you started by telling us like, yeah, I didn't realize you had to build a foundation first, so I guess it could fall over at any time. It was like built on it was like a lopsided on the side of a hill, like. Dude, yeah, it was just awful, man.
It was on the side of a hill. It was very small because, like, you know, I tried building it like in one game day, and like there's a limit to how much you can get done, especially with basic tools. So like I tried to use as little wood as possible. So it was tiny, but it did have a fire, and it did allow me to get like my basic workbench stuff. So the goal of this game, from what I could tell, is you have to kill like these ancient like creatures that are around the world, and each creature gets progressively harder to defeat. So you defeat the first one like pretty quickly, like within the first couple like day cycles of playing the game. I haven't beat the second one yet, and I'm like, I probably have like 10.
Have you encountered it?
No, I know where it is. Like I explored a troll cave, and it told me where this thing is. So it's like it's a marker on my map, but I haven't gone to it yet.
So some of the aspects that as a spectator and a viewer of this game that are fun for me to watch is that, so when you die, all of your gear you lose. It stays with your corpse though. So if you lose like your badass sword or whatever, when you respawn, you're naked and you have to make your way back to where you died and get your stuff back. And it's a pretty massive game. So but one of my favorite things is hopping on with John. You know, the night before we've been talking because Seglia in our Discord had been talking about how he was playing, and I guess you can share servers with people. So he was talking about how he'd been playing and had gone sailing, and like they had built a raft, and a group of them had like been sailing across the world, which sounded awesome. And knowing what we know about the fact that if you die and your gear and stuff like that also sounds like a horrifying proposition, because if you die at sea, that must be very difficult. So lo and behold, the next day that John and I are popping on, I'm watching him play Valheim. He's like, yeah, so I built the raft, and we got a little bit of problem because I was trying to make this other landmass out there, and all of a sudden it was open ocean, and a sea monster killed me. So he died in the middle of the ocean, and that's where all of his stuff is.
Yeah.
So he had to get another raft and sail out there naked, get his stuff, and make it back. And it was very stressful to watch. But John, you can elaborate. Yes.
Dude.
Well, what kind of sea monster was it?
It was like a big
sea
serpent thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But it was huge. It was like 4 times the size of my raft, and it just was like head charging my raft. And I'm like, it's literally my first time sailing in the game. And honestly, like, I partly do it because James is watching, but like also I get a little overconfident in the game, and there's definitely like skill checks and like equipment checks at different points. So like one of the first times James watched, I was like exploring the island that I spawn on, like, cause I hadn't uncovered all of it. Like there's a fog of war on the map that you have to like clear out by uncovering exploring different areas. And I come across this troll cave with 2 giant trolls outside of it. I've never killed a troll cause they're huge. They can like kill you in 2 hits. And so you know, I get a little overconfident and I'm like, fuck it, dude, I'm just gonna kill the trolls. And then I proceed to die like 4 or 5 times and have to run back to my body each time. I have to like sleep and wake up the next morning and then go back to my body. Like, it's tedious. And then the next time James watches me, even though I've made progress like on my base and my armor and everything, the next time James watches, I'm exploring the ocean for the first time, literally my first time out at sea, and this monster comes out of the sea and kills me, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, this game is unforgiving. I mean, luckily, like, you can recover your items even though it can be tedious, but it's if you like survival games, or if you've never played a survival game, this one's really fun because it has features that are tedious in other games. So like, one example is in the game Rust, if you build a base, let's say you build it out of wood or stone, you need to have some stone or wood in your storage so that you can it's like maintenance on the property. So like, if you build a base and you run out of stone for the maintenance, the upkeep on it, it'll start crumbling and eventually break. But in Valheim, there's no upkeep, so you can build this ridiculously big base. The worst that can happen is that it'll get like a little bit damaged from weather. So if like if someone does raid your base, it'll be easier to destroy. But even if it gets destroyed, or if you take down a wall or whatever, you get full refund on the items that went into it, which is great because it allows you to do a lot of really creative and clever stuff when you're like building, and it allows you to like try things out without losing all the resources that you had to gather to make it. And it's like, it doesn't overdo it on the amount of farming you have to do to like build something or craft an item or whatever. Like, you do have to go out and consciously, like, I just built like a full bronze armor set. I did have to go out and like farm enough copper and tin to make the bronze, but once I had it, now I have it, I'm never going to lose it. You know what I mean? Like, you're constantly investing, and then you're using that to like grow your character even more. It's really intuitive and cool.
Why did you build your house on a hill? That doesn't seem very intuitive.
So which house are you talking about?
The one
Dude,
James saw.
Yeah, the one
yeah. So,
dude,
so
it was so, Davis, I cannot stress. It was such a sad little hovel that John was trying to be proud of too. Like, it was really, really pathetic. Just the layout, like, you could barely walk in it. Like, it reminded me of John's first apartment in LA when Jeff and I went to visit him. I didn't want to tell you, John, it was pretty depressing times.
I mean, I loved it, but yeah, it definitely was not the best apartment. It was the worst. It's a terrible apartment.
Weird neighbor was shaking.
It was essentially
across the way.
It was essentially a hallway to the bathroom. It's what they call a bachelor apartment in Los Angeles.
I mean, I'm busting your balls about the one in LA. That was fine, but like the house in Valheim is a complete bomb.
It's kind of funny though, because it was built and laid out the same way. It was just like a long, skinny house. The same as my first apartment in LA. But yeah, so here's the thing, Davis. Like, a lot of things you learn in the game, you learn by doing things wrong. So like, I built the house, and then I was like walking around the outside of it, and I was like, oh shit, like half of the house is like not even on land. It's just floating, because like I built it on a hill, and I didn't know you need to like level the ground. So I just built it, and then it was just floating. And so basically the next day, I was showing it to James, and I was like, I'm thinking about moving my house to like this other hill closer to the water. And so James sat there with me in Discord, and we just like, we were bullshitting, and I'm like clearing the land and, leveling the foundation and building rails and building a floor. And like, it was fun. It was like, it felt collaborative.
It is fun. Yeah, well, it was very easy for me to just like say what I didn't like when I'm not the one having to do it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the accomplishment of building your first, like those milestones where you build your first house, and then you're like, oh, I actually want to build like a big, cool base. Like, that's it. Those are milestones, and every time you reach one, you're so proud. And then you look back on it, you're like, yeah, that was a piece of shit house. But like, even to get there in the game though, because literally you start with nothing. You start naked. So like, you have to punch bushes to get wood from them initially. You have to like pick up stones off the ground until you have enough to like build some tools and stuff. But even those tools aren't that useful. So like, it really takes a lot to build some of these like fantastic bases that you see online.
Hey, dude, and there are a lot of fantastic ones online.
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody has rebuilt the Lion's Pride Inn from Goldshire and World of Warcraft.
Yeah, someone built the Millennium
like,
Falcon out of wood.
Dude, it's wild, the stuff that you can do. The one thing I will say in watching you play, John, is I wish you had like another player that you could interact with or whatever kind of deal. You know, it's a very soothing experience, but it's a very solitary experience for you, it seems.
You haven't joined with Seglia yet?
No, see, here's the thing. Like, this is my first survival game, and I don't want to like bog people down. And also, the game has so much detail and is so rich that I feel like if I joined up with other people and we became really efficient at like farming items and upgrading our characters, like I would miss out on a lot of the experience. So like at some point I'm going to join other people's servers, and you can even take the character that you've made and join other people's servers, and then whatever's on your character when you exit that server, you bring back to your own server. So like it's a very fluid multiplayer experience. It's not like I need to create a new character to play on a server that has other people. But right now I'm just enjoying the solo experience. Like it's challenge. I feel like it's more challenging, and like I can take my time with stuff. You know, it's not like if I was playing with somebody else, I wouldn't be able to sit there for like 30 minutes and just like, you know,
totally
farm wood or farm stone or like
I do like the idea of like a neighboring Viking popping in every now and then, be like, hey, you want to go kill these trolls or whatever kind of deal, and be like, okay, sure. But there is something, you've said this a couple times previous conversations, there's something very soothing about the game, and it is true. I'm almost more interested in you just making these crazy upgrades to your home than I am with you even playing any of the game. Honestly, the home upgrading and you taking to the seas is what interests me the most, but that is such like a risky proposition. Can we build a boat tonight, John? Actually, like, let's build a boat and let's go. We can. Let's go hit the seas. Because
I've been doing this on Discord, like I kind of save some things to do with like you, and I know Tim Cool has been watching sometimes. Like I kind of save things because I'm like I just uncovered a new island, a huge island, and it has a bunch of dungeons on it. And if I just clear the dungeons with you guys, like, it's not going to be super exciting because it's just the same thing over and over. So I went through on my own and cleared them, and then I went through and gathered a bunch of wood and a bunch of other materials and upgraded my armor to the bronze armor. But the things like exploring new areas, that stuff I feel like is more fun to do as a group, because you guys get to see my like live reaction of like when I first make it to land the first time.
I want to sail, bro. Yeah. I want to sail and not a raft anywhere. Let's build a boat tonight and let's go sailing. And I'll be like Bob, and what about Bob? You can just tie me to the mast and I'll just be along for the ride. That's the thing that's what I worry about.
I think we should, even if I build a boat, I think we should take it slow. Like I still think we should do a trip like I did I don't think we just go straight for the ocean, dude. Like I think I think we do what we did before. A coastal tour, and then once we feel confident, we can go out to the deep sea. But that serpent monster, I just feel like I'm not ready for it. And
all right.
One last thing,
easy, Gilligan.
Yeah, one last thing on this, and then we can move on if you want. But when you say it's a peaceful game, I think what I'm really enjoying about it, because I play in the evenings after like a long day, is like I choose when the stressful experience happens.
Yeah, it's interesting.
If I feel like just gathering wood for 30 minutes, I can just do that. If I feel like fighting some trolls, which is probably the most stressful experience right now, I do that. But like ultimately, I get to choose. It's not like I'm forced into that by progressing through the game. Like you can progress at your own pace, which is really cool.
Did you watch Rogue One, John?
No.
Oh, well, never mind then. I think Davis knew where I was going. A farmer.
Really?
Yeah, somebody's going to show up and try and gang press you back into the Viking army, dude. You're going to build a death weapon for the Norse gods.
You know what's crazy? You actually can farm, like cultivate seeds and crops in this game, and you can fish. You can build a fishing pole. But I'm so far, like, there's almost too much you can do in this game, and it's not even like the most complicated survival game there is. It's like the perfect amount of complexity.
Well, we're gonna go sailing tonight. So build that boat. Davis, you should join too. You should watch. Pour yourself up another tequila and soda.
Yeah,
and...
I will watch after we cast tonight, and I will say I really actually wanted to play this game when Seglia brought it up in the Discord, and my PC just can't handle it. So
can it not? Okay.
So
I need see. That's why I need to, because I am interested in playing this. Although I don't know if it would be as much fun for me to play as much as just bark at John about his house and sailing.
All of
and
my
stuff.
shortcomings.
Although it would be fun to be on your server, though, John.
That would be fun.
Like, would I be able to join your server?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not on like a solo server. Like I can open it up to more slots. I just haven't.
Yeah. It's just the Viking lore, like Viking mythology, and I'm not sure how much it touches on this, and I definitely want to know more about it, but that is some of my favorite mythology of anything, that and Egyptian.
It doesn't I mean it's integrated in, like the world tree is like has like a presence in the game, and it's kind of, if you look up to the sky you can see it at all times no matter where you are, and there's like little like rocks that you come across that have engravings that have like little Easter eggs or include a little bit of lore, but for the most part it doesn't hit you over the head with it. It's just experiential, like you're in the lore. So you're just experiencing like the creatures and the fantasy of it all, without having a lot of like exposition explaining what's going on. Like they do the developers did an incredible job of pacing the exploration. Like just when you feel like, oh, I'm getting a grasp on this, then you discover the snowy mountains or you discover the plains or the swamp, and you're like, oh shit, this is like a whole new set of creatures and everything that I haven't even thought about yet, and the game is extremely expansive.
Can I moonshine?
You actually can make ale.
All right, I'm in.
I bet you'll be much better at making ale in that game than you are making moonshine in Red Dead.
There is a trader
posse.
too.
How did that Red Dead posse pan out?
Well, we disbanded. And
what happened to Tim? Remember when he used to be on this show?
He was a good right-hand man
world
until he wasn't.
Yeah, never got a Secret Santa gift either. Piece of shit.
It's the iPod all over again.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm definitely keeping it now.
I'm pretty sure Tim treated the posse the same way he has some of his jobs when we were in college. Like there was a job, I don't know how long he lasted. I believe it was one day, but it might have been a week. But definitely, like he got a job. I'm not going to say where it was, but it was a office retail store of some variety, and he worked at it for like a day or maybe like 3 days, and then he just called him one day and was like, "I quit." I was like, "Oh,
bye-bye,
psychopath, dude." Yeah.
Classic White Rabbit, Tim.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. On the other side, we'll be getting into WandaVision. We'll be talking maybe about a Halo TV series, a Superman reboot, and more on the other side of the Best Damn Nerd Show.
Hey everyone, Chris Seglia here, CEO of the Tenno Media Network. I would like to say thank you for checking out one of our podcasts, but we need your help. You can support Tenno in a multitude of ways. By going to our website and checking out our latest podcasts, by buying some sweet merch, joining our Discord, or getting early and exclusive access to all content via our Patreon. Your support means the world to us, and you can find everything on our website, www.ten-o.gg. That's ten-o.gg. Thank you again, and now, back to the show.
It's me, Iron Nerd Min-Maxer, Hanzo Gonzo, inviting you into the Tenno Media Arena to see whose nerdiness will reign No, we're gonna get sued. If you, will triumph a lotly. Come check out all the battles on the Tenno Media Network Patreon, or you can just skip to the parts where Steve physically breaks something for no reason. See you there.
It's the microphone alchemist Bimbo Jimbo here, of course, formerly the Jedi Master, and we are so happy to be back delivering to you the nerdy content that you need to make it through your Muggle work week. And we want to hear from you, Nerdosphere. So be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Zunes, or other non-name brand MP3 playing devices everywhere, or however you consume your weekly interval. Whether you agree with me that The Last Jedi was a crime against Star Wars, or that you think that my hosting warrants being mauled by a bear, leave us a 5-star review, make us laugh, smile, or cry in that review, and there is a good chance that you will hear it read on a future episode of the Best Damn Nerd Show. So be sure to rate and review us. It's the best way that you can help the BDNS keep saying it loud and proud for years to come. Welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show. James Kincaid with Professor Chris Davis and Jonathan Craig. And let's get into a little Nerdgasm or Nogasm here. It's been a minute since we've done a Nerdgasm or Nogasm. For those of you that don't remember what it is, I'm gonna throw some stuff at my distinguished panelists here, and they're gonna tell me if it gives them a Nerdgasm or a Nogasm. Sort of like what's the phrase? It's like a buy or sell. And I'll
a little pent up, James. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been. So let's, the girlfriend's away, so let's clean out those nerdy pipes, baby. So let's do it. Yeah, it's like a buy or sell, and I'll be awarding points at random as well. So, John, I think you're in pretty good position here. Now, you might not be able to participate in all of them, John, but whatever, you'll still win. So, speaking of that,
this game is also called Stacked Against Davis.
Well, you came so close in the Army Hammer cannibal or cannibal movie quote game, Davis.
Unbelievable. The Discord came to my aid. And
Jeff and I came to your aid too.
That points were taken or not given.
Hey, this is the first time you'll ever hear. This is the first time you'll ever hear me say it, but Mark's word was law. So, what he said goes. All right, but for the first up tonight, yeah, it was. We're gonna kick things off in full spoiler warning. If you have not caught up with WandaVision and you don't want things spoiled for you, please hit the fast forward button on your Zunes.
Fast forward 2 minutes.
Or on your Zunes or other non-name brand MP3 players. But WandaVision had its finale on Disney Plus. Davis, overall, WandaVision, Nerdgasm or Nogasm, and feel free if you want to earn extra points, go into your thoughts about the finale and the show at large.
WandaVision has earned a complete, full Nerdgasm from Professor Davis. Because this was a show nobody cared about going in. And it is one of the best things Marvel has done.
Wow.
In my opinion. And maybe it's because the standards were set so low and I just didn't care what was going to happen. But the characters were really good. Wanda, I forget her name.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Thank you. I think she just crushed like the grief aspect of her story in this, and just the different feelings that she went, and just how that kind of encapsulated her throughout the series. It was great, and I think also Vision was fantastic. He hasn't gotten to do a ton with that character, I don't think, throughout Marvel, but Paul Bettany had so many different ranges throughout this series, and even at one time, I think we briefly spoke on it last time, but just reverted back to A Knight's Tale for that second episode, and just had so much fun with it. But he showed a lot of range with Vision, and when you didn't think that Vision should or could, he might not now where Vision is going, but I think he did a great job. But where it ended
I agree.
Yeah, where it ended up, I think a lot of people wanted something bigger to happen. So there was a lot of disappointment.
Yeah, there was. So let's touch on that a little bit. But before we go any further, I want to give John an opportunity. Based on what you've seen and heard, John, Nerdgasm or Nogasm?
Just on the basic fact that Seglia just came into Discord hot and said he's never been so angry. Number one, I support anything that makes any of you guys that angry.
That
It's
tracks.
a pleasure.
Yep.
It's a pleasure for me to see you guys upset and angry at things. And then number two, any piece of content that elicits a reaction that large, good or bad, once you finish it, is good in my mind. And yes, I'm not done with WandaVision yet. I'm not all the way caught up, but I will catch up. But just those two facts alone make me give it a nerdgasm.
An early front runner. First of all, 50 points to John, and early front runner for another nerdy for biggest troll. with that answer, good work. But I have to echo a lot of what Davis said in terms of the two leads. Really, their chemistry is so good in this, and there are some just really poignant moments when you get beyond the sitcom stuff. Like there is a scene, I think it was either the second to last episode or maybe the third to last episode, where Vision and Wanda are sitting on the bed together, and Vision's talking about what is like what is the line? It's like what is grief if not prolonged love, kind of deal. And there are, even in the final episode, again spoilers, when Vision lies and says, "Oh, I heard it was bad luck to say goodbye in the dark," and he hadn't heard that at all. He just wanted to see Wanda again. And like their love story in this show, and the tinges of sadness throughout it, and what Wanda's had to go through is really good stuff. And I came into this with no expectations. We joked about it and everything like that. I'm happy we did the episode we did earlier on, talking about the sitcoms that it was sort of skewering and paying homage to and everything, because I love those shows. Like this has throughout been a very easy watch for me for the most part, which is really all I can ask for. My investment in it still is not nearly as high as I think of a lot of people that are super MCU nerds. And Davis, you alluded to that too. The people that are like super into WandaVision. I don't think it's God's gift to the MCU or anything like that, but it was very enjoyable outside of the side characters, like Jimmy, the FBI agent, and Darcy from Two Broke Girls and the Thor franchise, who she just continues to be god awful. Monica Rambeau was good, but and then like the just very hackneyed written like big bad from Sword. There's like just generic, agent bad guy kind of. I don't know. I didn't like that stuff, but when it comes down to the two leads, with Wanda and with Vision, they really hit it out of the park. And so did Agatha. She was great too. And the sitcom stuff was really good. What people wanted. And there's some great memes that have come out of WandaVision as well. Like with Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV. And it's like every character, Mephisto. So we didn't get Mephisto in WandaVision, which just disappointed a lot of people. We didn't get Magneto, which also disappointed a lot of people. Well, I mean, Davis, what are your thoughts on sort of, are you let down by that?
The one thing I was let down on was there wasn't really, they teased the mutant bringing in the X-Men, the mutants with Quicksilver, and then they just did away with it in the last episode. And I understand why they did it. I'm a little disappointed where I felt like there was a way that you could still keep that in and you're not really ruining anything, and you don't have to explain how it happened. But they kind of just got rid of that and tossed it aside, because I don't think they really wanted to tackle that right then and there. And I get that, so I'm fine with that. But I wasn't mad about the Mephisto thing. I think it was just a good story about Scarlet Witch's dealing with grief. I think that's all we needed, and we got a good bad with Catherine Hahn as Agnes, and she did a great job. And between the two mains and her, I think that was enough.
Yeah, and I think we got a lot of look. The reference to the Sorcerer Supreme, we already know that this is going to lead into the next Doctor Strange movie, and they're going to do a lot more with that. I certainly feel people sort of wanting to get a more defined. I certainly think Mephisto, maybe even a by name reference, would have been welcome in this. And if there was, maybe I just missed it. But I think that's coming. Like, all the doors in the MCU are open right now. And so that is very exciting, and we'll see where this sort of plays off. What I really like too,
it's interesting, the one line that Catherine Hahn had, that what you have no idea what you've just opened, what you've just unleashed, when she fully becomes Scarlet Witch. It's interesting because I mean, this is that stepping stone to what the MCU is now going into, with now having access to the Fantastic Four, now having access to the X-Men and everything else. It's interesting times, and it's very exciting to see where they could go with all this after phase one, and now there's so much more opportunity.
I think in the line I was searching for is Vision says to Wanda to comfort her. He says, "What is grief if not love persevering?" And I just think that to me, I think, is my favorite line of the series so far. But what I also really appreciated was how the suit at the end, like how she looked at the end. That is a badass looking Scarlet Witch that they gave us, and I that's something that for us fucking nerds, I think is something that matters. Like, she looks like it's a take on the Scarlet Witch outfit from the comic books. It's not the exact one, which, by the way, appreciate the Halloween episode for giving the classic Vision and the classic Scarlet Witch look, like A+ for that. And I also love that it was like very DIY, but how they made her look with her powers sort of forming like the wreath around her head kind of deal. Just awesome. Love that. Really, really appreciated that. And I think it was a cool, especially at the end, as it kicked up a notch, just really a huge step fully into the Marvel universe and her power level for the Scarlet Witch, and what is to come. So it's getting a nerdgasm for me for sure. And I think with more to come and more doors to open and this whole multiverse business, we'll see what happens. So that is,
keep your minds open, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Something I don't think that we've really talked about on the show, that as I was like just looking through nerdy stuff and getting ready, is that there's going to be this, and I heard talks about it. I didn't realize it was as imminent as it is, but this Halo TV series that's going to be coming to Paramount Plus in early 2022. Halo TV series, Nerdgasm or Nogasm, John Craig?
I'm gonna give it a Nogasm.
Okay, why?
While I do love the Halo franchise, for the most part, I just don't feel like the world is going to make for an interesting television series. Like, if you're going to go sci-fi, I feel like there are probably better and more interesting franchises to build from. If you're even going to build from a franchise at all. I mean, I personally, with like sci-fi shows, I like when it's like a new world that's been created, or even something out of books. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to feel like what makes sci-fi fun for me to watch is like that feeling of like coming to understand the world, and everyone already understands Halo. So you take that factor immediately out, and it's just not super interesting for me. So I'm gonna say Nogasm.
Davis?
I'm a big Halo guy.
I know you are.
A lot of great memories with Halo and my buddies.
A lot of broken controllers.
A lot of 4-room 16-player action going on. This is a nerdgasm. This is definitely a nerdgasm. And John, you're naive, my friend. There is so much in Halo that can be brought up story-wise that we don't know yet. There's so much with the Covenant that I think we can see from, and I'm definitely not going to compare it to what Battlestar Galactica was, what we loved about it, but from the Cylon and human factor, like the two sides of that show, I think you could have a lot of similarities with The
Interesting.
human side of Halo, the Covenant side of Halo. There's a lot of religious things happening on the Covenant side
Okay.
that could play into this series. I think a lot if they went that route. If they just focus on the Marine aspect of it, I'm not going to be as interested because it's not, like you said, it's not going to encapsulate the whole sci-fi world of this. So,
Right.
if they can kind of take both sides and let you pick a side and make some anti-heroes out of it, I think this could be a lot of fun and really good. But it just all kind of depends which angle they take.
Gotcha. Okay.
I do think that there are legs to the Halo lore, and that they could make a damn good sci-fi show out of this. The early Halo games, like Davis, I mean, God, so much fun to play, and I just think that if they explore what they're actually fighting for and just some of those stories, like you said, maybe the peril that they're in, sort of, a la BSG in terms of how sort of hopeless it seems at times, could be some compelling television. That being said, I am, I'm not necessarily confident that they're going to do that. But the other question is, it's going to be going to Paramount Plus, yet another streaming service. Nerdgasm or Nogasm on all these streaming services. I mean, come on, what the fuck? Like,
I mean, that alone is the reason why I will never see it. I will never watch the show.
Yeah,
it's called piracy, gentlemen.
John makes
it's
a great
still alive.
point. John with a great point about why he'll never see it. So, 15 more points to Mr. Craig.
Okay, but I mean, I will say that is not a good first vibe for it to move from Showtime to Paramount Plus. I mean, they didn't keep it on Showtime and they moved it. That's either a red flag that's not going to do as well, or they're trying to make Paramount Plus something big.
They're trying to make Paramount Plus something big, and I mean, we all watch the Super Bowl ads. Like, you're not roping us in with 25-year-old episodes of Beavis and Butthead and Survivor reruns. I'm sorry, those that's not gonna get us to the finish line to buy your app. So they're trying to make this one of the leads into buying the app, but like, there's just too much good content elsewhere. So yeah, I think it's gonna be one of those, everyone's gonna buy like a month, or everyone's gonna do a free trial, pound the series, and then never ever pay for it. Like, it's crazy.
There's just too many of them.
Yeah.
We flew too close to the sun on things of subscription-based services, and now we're having to reap the whirlwind.
Full circle. We're going right back to cable.
Yeah, it would come crawling back, and they're going to really have us over a barrel. So, damn it! Why do we do
Save
this?
those free trials. Save those free trials for the shows you want to watch.
Just making email address after email address to watch them.
It's like the food services. I don't know how many free boxes of HelloFresh I've gotten.
Man, I'm stoked for Peacock. Man, that's the streaming service to be on, because WWE Network is getting incorporated to Peacock. So that's the one to have. Woo, man.
So they suckered you in. So that's
I already pay for the WWE Network, and that's going to cover my Peacock subscription. So I get all of Modern Family and The Office. Sign me up. I like it. It's a good one. Everybody should get on it. All right, this is one for John more so, I think, because I'm not sure if Davis really played this, but
I don't have any points yet, man.
Yeah, I'll give you 15 points.
And those were my first two.
I mean, Davis, you're doing great. So
good. Just a fan favorite, really.
This is the headline, John. I immediately thought of you. Is Diablo 2 Resurrected will let you import your 20-year-old save games, which is something I wish like all new games would do moving forward. Like, I wish the next Mass Effect or whatever, if you can at least import your choices and stuff like that. I guess if you're starting over from scratch, it wouldn't matter. But Nerdgasm or Nogasm for that, John. I forget how much of a Diablo guy you were.
I played quite a bit of Diablo 2 and quite a bit of Diablo 3. I love the genre, and as much as I love like a Path of Exile or some of the other games in the space, like Diablo is still the ARPG for me. But that being said, like, people were really excited about Warcraft 3 Reforged, and then it launched to massive disappointment. And likewise with StarCraft, the StarCraft Brood War remastering. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, can you just give us a new game? Like, people who love Diablo 2 just love Diablo 2. Like, they don't need you to refresh the graphics or anything like that. And in fact, if you do that, there's a good chance that gameplay elements that people love about it are going to be kind of clunky now, like just interactions in the environment. I think it's smart for them to allow people to import their characters. And, you know, from what I understand, they are staying pretty true to Diablo 2. But instead of doing that, could they just put more time into developing the Diablo 4 and the mobile game and get those out to us faster? Because I think people are way more excited for Diablo 4 than this refreshed version of a game that nobody was really asking for. So I give it a Nogasm. I think it's going to be, it's just a little gimmick. People are going to buy it because they buy everything Blizzard, but no one's really going to spend that much time playing this.
Davis?
While I have very little experience with Diablo, I played a little bit of Diablo 3, not much. But as I hear John talk about it, it makes me think of Game of Thrones and GRM, where he is just reverting back to talking about the history of these characters in this world and releasing these other items of Game of Thrones instead of focusing on finishing new content. Where
yeah, exactly,
that's what it sounds like Diablo should be doing. And so
that's a really good point.
I could totally feel where the Diablo crowd is from a Game of Thrones standpoint. So I'm going to give this a complete Nogasm. All
right, Nogasms across the board. I still like the idea of being able to import your saves into sort of.
I think it's a good idea.
Like, I would have loved to have been able to bring my Skyrim character over into the remaster that I got, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you need all those books to fill your house.
Exactly. I mean, I put a lot of time and effort in, and so they do like the super revamp, and I got to start from scratch again, and I did multiple times. And
quite the extensive library.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea, and like, you know, and I think it's a good concept, and it's something that I think that would be cool for Blizzard to implement into a lot of their franchises. Like, if they do ever come out with like a World of Warcraft successor, like allow you to import your character with all their achievements and transmogs and everything else, but still be a new game. That's cool to do, and maybe there's a way of doing that within Diablo 4. But doing it for Diablo 2, a game that like really not many people are still playing, and while you have so many great ARPGs right now with Path of Exile, Grim Dawn, I mean, even Hades, if you want to consider that an ARPG, with, you know, being like the endless roguelite, like there's really no need to remaster Diablo 2 except for people to be able to say like, yep, I own all the Blizzard games, you know, like put another thing out there that you could just charge people money for. But I don't anticipate a lot of people playing it after like the first week.
Yeah, I get you there. All right. A Superman reboot in the works at Warner Brothers with J.J. Abrams producing. Nerdgasm or Nogasm, Davis?
What was it?
A Superman reboot is reportedly in the works at Warner Brothers with J.J. Abrams producing. So, I don't know.
So this isn't that terrible Superman and Lois show coming out, right?
No.
This is the movie series.
Yes.
Oh, sweet Jesus. No. Nogasm. I'm done with Superman for a while. Especially with the new Justice League Snyder coming out. Who knows what that's going to do. Stop rebooting DC. Go with the story. Keep the characters and move forward. Can we do that? Can we stop killing Uncle Ben 1,000 times? Can we?
Well, he's not even forward? Man, Davis, you were so close because I was about to give you like all of the points.
It's relatable. It's relatable. That's all I'm saying.
The fact that you said, "Can we stop killing Uncle Ben?" and we haven't even really mentioned him in this latest Spider-Man version that they claim is Spider-Man. It just like shows your lack of depth of understanding and comprehension. So no points.
No, you can do that in like the credits, like they've done before. You can revert and talk about it, but you don't have to keep showing it. Just move
but
forward.
they barely even do that. But I mean, I'm with you because I like Henry Cavill's Superman, so I don't really see the point in this. And John, Nerdgasm or Nogasm?
I'm gonna give it a Nogasm. I don't see the point. Like, can we just can Warner Brothers just fucking chill out and just like commit to like what they're like the roster of actors and superheroes that they've created? Like, we're just gonna keep doing false starts on this fucking on this universe while Marvel rakes in billions and billions of dollars over the course of 15, 20 years? Like, Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
Guess
like
guess what, DC?
DC were
the cast isn't your problem.
Yeah, DC were like the first movers. The problem is they can't get out of their own fucking way. They have to just keep relaunching everything. Like, they would have been fine. Imagine if they would have taken that like Nolan Batman series and used that as a launching point for all of this stuff and pulled up Aquaman and pulled up Superman and everything else and made it all one cohesive world versus always like looking over at Marvel and being like, what are they doing? But then also never committing to trying to do it yourself and just being like, well, we squandered a fucking decade. Jesus Christ. What are we doing?
They have actually nailed casting, I think.
Yes.
And it's just their story. It's just their stories. There's very few
but
of the characters I don't think they've done well.
So we're just gonna every 5 years we just get a new Batman and a new Superman and a new like what? I mean, what honestly? What are we doing? There's no consistency at all. Like, they're not committed to having this be a cohesive universe.
No, they're not. It's disappointing.
I think we lost Davis, but you know we're gonna keep pressing on here. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna reset here. We're gonna finish out on the other side of the Best Damn Nerd Show.
Hey nerd, Lore Master Tim here, and I've come with a rather indecent proposal. We want you to join in the conversation. If you aren't already a member of our Discord, what are you even doing? You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TheBDNS. And if you're crazy, odds are we'll talk about it on the show, so get kooky, and above all, let's get nerdy.
Hey guys, it's the loquacious anime and manga lover Jahns here. Now, I have watched a lot of anime, and I've read an abundance of manga, so you would think that I have a pretty interesting opinion on the culture. From classics like Golden Boy and Ghost in the Shell, to masterpieces such as Psycho Pass and Gantz. Come and join me as I talk about the world of anime and manga, which has had a huge impact on my life. And who knows, whatever I talk about and recommend to you guys could become one of your favorite series.
Ammo with Jammers.
It's the microphone alchemist Bimbo Jimbo here, and when I'm not verbally super kicking Last Jedi fans on the Best Damn Nerd Show, or fantasy casting The Rock in another movie on the DLC, well, that's when I actually get to talk about wrestling. That's right, come join me in the Wrestling War Room, where I take my mic to the mat and launch my hot takes about the Wednesday Night War between AEW and NXT. The Wrestling War Room, which side are you on? Welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show. Had to take a quick little break there as we were fighting through some technical difficulties, but we're back. James Kincaid back with John Craig and Chris Davis for one final segment. And if you guys want to finish your thoughts about what was going on in the DC expanded universe and everything, Davis, John, the floor is yours.
I feel like it's irrecoverable at this point for the DC team. Like, it's while I have enjoyed the movies, I think we have to give up on this idea that they're going to be able to pull a Marvel and have a cohesive universe. And we just need to accept, like, every 5 years, all the actors and characters that we've grown to love are just going to be reset, and who knows how it's going to go.
Davis?
Yeah, they've gone. They have a new Batman now. Like, the trailer's out. Like, this is already happening. Like, they've said, all right, nah, we tried. And so they've started with Batman again. Now, are they going to make this the launch point for trying to be a cohesive universe? Maybe. But they haven't proved that they can do it. and it sure as hell doesn't look like they're on that path. So maybe they're just going to do their solo stuff, but I think they're just going to keep trying to do this haphazardly, and they're going to keep running into this problem.
Yeah, I don't want to see Henry Cavill or Superman rather get rebooted already. I feel like they have good bones already there to continue on with what they have. I think the new Batman movie looks sick, by the way. We've talked about that previously on the show. So and actually in our DCEU episode, most of the stuff that they've put out there, we liked. At least I did, which, maybe goes against narrative for a lot of you fucks out there, but I did. So I liked a lot of it. Be that as it may, something I don't like, it'll be the final Nerdgasm or Nogasm, is that Rian Johnson did an interview and sort of low-key confirmed that he's still going to be working on future Star Wars movies, a potential future Star Wars trilogy. Nerdgasm or Nogasm to the guy that did the fucking Last Jedi doing more Star Wars movies. Davis?
Absolutely. No, I'm not even going to start trying to gasm. This isn't even like a, no, I can't get there. This is, I'm not even going to try. You had your shot, bud. We saw what you did. We don't want any more. Just go away. No, thank you. Thank you for coming. Not really. Don't let the door hit you where the good litter split you.
One, I love the phraseology. 2, I love the content. 3, 5 points for you, Davis. Good for you.
I'm on the board.
You're on the board. You're on the board. John, Nerdgasm or Nogasm?
I don't care. Nogasm, I guess.
Toph wins everything.
Who cares, dude? Who cares? The whole it's all just so fucking watered. Like it's just, everything is just so oversaturated and watered down, and it's just we have nothing of value anymore, and it's all going to shit.
Okay, you know what? 15 points for nihilism. So good for you, John. You win. Thanks for playing. I want to end the show tonight
What a world!
Sorry, Davis. Rian Johnson, don't do any more fucking Star Wars movie, because The Last Jedi was the absolute worst. It was worse than any of the prequel movies. It was worse than the other 2 bad sequel movies. I mean, granted, I haven't seen the third one, but I guarantee it was worse. No more Rian Johnson. He was given Luke Skywalker and drove him into the side of a fucking mountain. It was terrible. It was awful. He's just he's a bad person. Actually, I'm going to go out and say he's just a bad human being. I wish he had never been born. Although I did enjoy Knives Out. I enjoyed Knives Out. I'll say that. All right, moving right along. What I saw the CDC putting out a zombie survival guide, and this was making the rounds in the wake of everything going on with the coronavirus, and now we have the vaccine and all this stuff. But apparently, this has been on their website in a very tongue-in-cheek way since 2011. But they put it out there again, a zombie survival guide coming courtesy of the CDC. Doesn't exactly give me, I don't know, a lot of faith in that organization to really trust them at all, or to sign up for whatever shots they want to give me. Now, I'm not Jenny McCarthy, although she is a smoke show, and I do take her at her word. But your thoughts on this CDC zombie survival guide, and because we've talked about this really early on in the Best Damn Nerd Show in terms of our own personal zombie survival guide and what we would do, what kind of weapon we would want to employ, what our tactics would be. So let's go into that again here. But your thoughts on the CDC and having a zombie survival guide in the midst of a pandemic of which people are maybe for more than ever actually afraid of an incoming zombie apocalypse. Davis?
This is nothing but a good thing. And let me tell you why.
Bold words.
They've already had this, and it draws attention to how to survive an earthquake, a pandemic, it's all kind of relative to the same thing that they're trying to say. So I see why they did this, and they actually like marketed it like this, because people will actually read it. I had Max Brooks' Zombie Survival Guide in my bathroom as a bathroom reader. That's what I read when I did my thing. And it was really just, like Earthquake procedural guide, but with zombies in it. And so, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool because it actually draws attention to it. People might know how to take better care of themselves in an emergency situation.
Buy all the toilet paper you can find.
I don't think that was in the Zombie Survival Guide. I don't think that was part of that.
Sucker play on their part. That's what you got to do.
I don't remember that chapter. So I think it's actually a good thing. Because it draws attention, and more knowledge is, I think, better.
Johnny?
More knowledge is better. Look, there comes a point. Like, have you guys ever just had really fucking terrible days at work? Like,
yes, almost exclusively, days, it seems at times.
Yeah, just days, or maybe even like weeks, where you come home and you're just like, we just suffered defeat today. Like, we just suffered losses.
We took an L.
We took an L. Like, we suffered losses that we are not going to be able to reconcile them. So we just need to move on. That's what the CDC is doing here. They come out with guidance. You got to wear masks. Then don't wear masks. They're not effective. Now put on fucking 2-3 masks. Like, that's the way to go. And then they're like, it can spread on surfaces. Like, wipe everything down. Wipe down your Burger King, burger wrappers. Right? Wipe down every grocery you bring in the house. Wipe down every Amazon package. And then they're like, no, it can't spread on surfaces. I don't know who told you that, but no, it's incorrect. Then is this thing made in a lab? Is it fucking, is it Bill Gates? Like, I don't know. I feel like at a certain point, the CDC, like, this is just them going like, you know what? Clearly we're not good at pandemics. So let's just take our salary and let's just fucking try to pivot and do something a little more fun,
So maybe they'll start in like sort of inside a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, maybe, but either way, I'm giving it a nerdgasm. I applaud. I applaud.
Game's over, John. Stop going for more points.
Hey, you know what? For extra credit for John for giving this a nerdgasm.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, because I applaud their ability and willingness to pivot, and just it takes a lot to like accept like, hey, maybe we're not cut out for like controlling diseases. Like maybe
but that's in the name. It's the Center for Disease Control.
But for now, they're gonna have to rename the institution. The Center for Zombie Control.
I mean, I love the sort of the zombie topic implication that comes with everything that we've gone through over the last year. In the world, because like one of the first things that I did when we shut down was Davis. I went to your cousin's house and we watched. We started with Contagion, which is not a zombie movie, but very very quickly it was World War Z, and it was The Strain, and it was all these sort of at least zombie adjacent type things that sort of come to mind. In a pandemic. And if I've learned anything about human behavior in terms of this and how people would fare in a zombie apocalypse, I'm 100% convinced that people will do what they often do in the movies and TV shows, is hide their infection. Because that 100% in seeing people still trying to work sick or hide the fact that they have something going on. And I mean, yeah, 1,000% that they would hide their zombie infection or their zombie virus and endanger the rest of the group. Like it's
embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You watch those movies and you're like, this is so stupid. This is the worst sci-fi horror movie. Nobody would do this. Nobody would act that way. And the last 12 months happened. You're like, oh, these are actually pretty accurate. This is
people
sad.
made a run on toilet paper.
Yeah,
what?
All this happened, and we did not do well.
No.
And the U.S. looks like would be the center of the whole thing, and the rest of the world would have to stop us from spreading the zombies.
Well, I don't know about
good
that.
luck.
We
You're
didn't
totally
start,
right.
we didn't start it though.
We didn't start it, but we were the
No.
worst at preventing it.
Yeah, but what are we supposed to do? This is fucking America, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it.
Don't harsh on my liberties. I'm freedom.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, dude.
if I want to
can't
hide
breathe- I
my
can't-
virus and
I can't breathe in
my
those
biting,
masks.
if I want to go for somebody's brain, you let me do that. That's my right.
What did
Don't take
what did
that
that
from
woman?
me.
What did that woman in Florida say? I don't wear masks for the same reason I don't wear underwear because things got to breathe. Like, dude, the zombie outbreak is already real in Florida. Like, just
Well,
ask
yeah,
gay
the bath
Florida
salt eaters
Yeah.
are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I gotta say, I don't think my survival plan has really changed much, though. I firmly swear by going to a Costco and holding up there. I think that's the best way. Honestly, I probably should have done that during
But
the
what
pandemic. It would have
Costco,
been living the high. Well, I always envision the one near my hometown because it's got the huge concrete fortifications, the big blast doors. Nobody's getting in there, and just endless supply of food,
But people
entertainment,
will already be in there.
booze.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but see, the thing that I always maintain about us is that we're not skeptics. So we'll be in there, getting ready to lock shit down. And yeah, we'll have some hangers-ons that might be shopping or getting the free samples, but that's going to become the new utopia. We might have to stop by a Home Depot or something like that along the way to get some weapons and some wig splitting materials. But Costco even has coffins to bury your dead.
That's true. You're gonna be such an early mover on that like you're gonna show up and be like,
I'll
get
get
the fuck out
arrested.
of my Costco. Yeah, and then it's like, oh no, it's like one of those like false alarm text message alerts that goes out, like the one about the nuclear attack in Hawaii 2 years ago or whatever.
Oh
like,
God!
You're like, oh, sorry guys,
Meanwhile, there's like a rent-a-cop bleeding out in front of me. Just, I got a little
dude,
knife at me.
my approach for sure is gonna be just start shooting at people at will. Like there's no trading, there's no conversations. Like I don't care if you are exhibiting signs of zombieism or not. Like I'm going to be shooting you.
Well, John, I hope that doesn't include me, but because you'd be a welcome addition on like the rooftop of my Costco to keep, because I don't want anybody, like once those doors are closed, like I'm even more hardline about it now. It's like nobody's getting in.
Yeah.
Like that's a wrap.
I've always been good at sniper rifles in games, so maybe that skill translates over into your Costco defense.
I really believe that is the way to go. You do have to time it right though, because you got to wait for society to break down just enough to where you can overtake the Costco.
Mm-hmm.
The right amount of panic, and then you waltz in, and you got, just like in Valheim, dude. Then you got your base.
Can't you just like go in there like right when this starts and yell like fire or zombies in, try to like rush everybody out?
I think fire is the better Davis, that's a great contribution. Fire is good because people will leave. Zombies, they'll think you're crazy.
Yeah.
But if they know that it just started and they're like maybe just starting to go in there, and then you just try to freak them out from like the very beginning of the news, maybe you can get enough out.
I agree. Fire or like active shooter. Although
God.
the active shooter is you in this case.
Well, certainly it sounds like it's John. if nothing else. Good Lord. I put on one of the many dating apps of which I still find myself on. One of the prompts is, what would you bring to my zombie apocalypse survival team? None of the answers I've gotten have been good. So haven't found any additions to the team yet. One literally said, I wouldn't be any good. I'd probably just get killed. Be like, all right, well, no match. Bye. Like, need your table here.
You're the dead weight that will get me killed. So bye-bye.
Yeah. That's the thing. You got to be really hardlined about it. Davis, do you have any zombie apocalypse strategies? Given that your bathroom reader was a guide, you have a weapon of choice. John is going full gunman in a bell tower.
Yeah, outside of just going down to the pub and having a pint, I might go. I mean, the prison route is a pretty good one. I mean, there's a lot of fortifications around there. If you can get that, just like in Walking Dead, I think that's pretty solid. Costco was always I was definitely always a big fan of that. But if I'm gonna go against the grain here, I'm a boat guy. I could take a boat and
Like from that stupid show, Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, I never watched that one, but I definitely have to go down to like the Caribbean. I'd have to get.
Oh, I'm all about the senoritas and the margaritas too, Davis. That actually might be what is able to coax me out of the Costco.
You can't be dealing. Well, the problem is you don't want to be dealing with a lot of different kinds of weather. But if you go in the Caribbean, you got the hurricanes, so you got to watch out for that.
Oh,
so
the Caribbean. My bad. I thought we were going to like. Sorry. Got my geography crossed there. I'm a fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, maybe you could go off the coast of Cabo, or you go down the Pacific there, and just kind of go off the coast there and fish and go on shore when you need to and kind of scout it out. I think I'll go that route, but when it comes to weapon wise, you got to have some sort of firearm that's easy to clean, quick fire. And probably has a lot of possible ammunition wherever you go. Like so,
that's what I'm saying. AR-15 with a bump stock, bro.
Yeah,
we can't allow them to ban guns.
Need something with a good spread, to quote Bill Burr. So you need good like shotgun, and also I'm checking for vaccination cards at the door, and if you've been vaccinated, you don't get in because I don't know what's in that. So,
and then give me a katana too. I want a sword. I'll learn to sharpen that thing, keep it going, slice through some domes, and
I think I'd rather have an axe, more versatile bladed weapon for a lot of different things.
I get it because that's really good for other survival things. I get it, like just building a base camp and setting up.
Yeah.
But I feel like you get stuck in the skull quite a bit with that. And you might lose that pretty quickly because you won't be able to wring it out of that.
I don't know. I think the idea that somehow you'd be super adept with a katana is also pie in the sky.
I played a lot of Bushido Blade in my day, so I think
great game that we haven't really discussed, by the way.
Ever.
Love Bushido Blade.
Ever. Maybe the best game of all time. Who knows?
No, definitely not that. But you were doing so well, Davis.
So maybe it is.
Quit trying to earn points. It's not Nerdgasm or Nogasm anymore. Well. I think that we should explore maybe more in depth as we go along here. Maybe do a full-on zombie episode. Obviously, there's a lot of movies, games, plans to discuss. Diagrams that I have in my home of how things would go in the Jamestopia, in the new Costco Republic.
The role of the hosts, what each of us would do on the compound. Maybe
Let me just
need
say,
our significant others to do.
Yes, absolutely. Or maybe meet them. Like and then I saved her. So anyway, it's the whole thing. But let's just say I'm making wholesale changes in my Costco compound. All right, let's go play some Valheim. That's going to do it for this episode of the Best Damn Nerd Show. Have a great week, everyone. And remember, if you're a nerd, always say it loud and say it proud.
Hey everyone, Chris Seglia, CEO of the Tenno Media Network here. Thank you so much for listening to our content, but we need your help. Please rate us 5 stars, subscribe, and give us a shining review wherever you listen to this podcast. It really, really helps us out. And one more thing, please tell a friend if you can. Tell them Tasty Steve, Hanzo Gonzo, Markman, Rip, Ricky Replay, or someone who everyone loves sent you or something. That might help. Anyway, again, thank you for listening. And if you want more, make sure to check us out at www.ten-o.gg. www.10o.gg.